endless day, I had been passing alone through this dreary country, and at length found myself within view of the melancholy house of Usher. I know not how it was, but with the first glimpse of the building, a sense of insufferable gloom pervaded my soul. There was an iciness, a sinking of the heart, a dreary sickness that nearly overwhelmed me. What was it, I wondered? What was it that so unnerved me in the contemplation of that ancient place, the home of my boyhood friend? A strange fancy possessed me. It seemed that above and all around the whole domain, there hung an atmosphere quite removed from the clean air of heaven. A pestilent and mystic vapor, poisons both to the body and the spirit.
Sir, stay where you are. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. No wish to be abrupt. Oh, you must be the gentleman come to stay with the young master.
I am.
So very kind. Very kind. Excellent.
And the lady?
Oh, yes. The Lady Madeline.
His wife?
He has no wife, sir, nor will he ever have a wife. She's his sister. His twin sister.
I had no idea.
Few people have. She's led a rather retired life. I doubt if she's seen another human face these past 10 years, and so when she saw yours, the shock, don't you know?
I must confess, I, too, was a bit...
It's quite natural, quite natural. Oh, I must introduce myself. I'm the family physician to the House of Usher.
The house?
The house. The family. You must understand that for centuries one has been completely identified with the other. No family, no house. The line is descended unbroken, father and son for 700 years.
But you say the master has no wife, no children.
I mustn't keep you, sir. Yours to wait you and last my poor patient. So, you really are here. My dear fellow, I was afraid you wouldn't come at all.
How could I refuse when your letter was so urgent, so persuasive?
But after these many years, you've hardly changed since we were boys.
No, you're
You're just the same. And I will You can see for yourself.
But your letter. Certainly. You've been ill for some time, haven't you?
Forever. Ever since I was born. An exaggeration, of course. Come, sit down over here, won't you? Would you care for some wine?
Thank you.
This is a very old Salle from Madeira. My grandfather had it laid down for my father, but he never drank any of it. So you see, you're the first to taste it. I hope it's good.
Superb. But aren't you yourself going to...
No. I dare not only the very lightest wines, Moselle, perhaps, and that's very seldom.
But your guests?
Guests? We have none.
No.
Not until today. Not since my father died many years ago. Do you know that since that day, I have never crossed the causeway? I have never left this house. Not once.
And the reason?
It became intolerable. Which is why I wrote to you in the last resort. To you. The only friend I have ever had. Above all, I remember your clear, sane view of life, and I longed for the cheerfulness of your society.
It's yours, for as long as you wish it. But forgive me. Why have you never left the house?
Did I not tell you in my letter that I was ill? Yes? But this is a malady not to be cured by doctors or easy remedies. This is hereditary. A constitutional evil. Deep in the soul. Rotting the mind. Destroying the will to live. The nervous affliction. And in your company it will soon pass off.
I hope so indeed. And when it does, will you cross over the causeway into the world outside?
No. No, I don't think so. My difficulty, I might call it, is that I suffer from a morbid acuteness of the senses, all the five senses. Each one has become unendurably sensitive. Wine, for example. It's not the strength they object to, it's the flavor. I can't eat anything but the most insipid foods. No spice, no salt, pepper. You see, I have to wear gloves. The slightest friction gives me pain. And silk. Silk is the only thing I can wear. The thought of handling leather reins or the roughness of horsehair appalls me. The odor of all living flowers oppresses me. The once sweet smell of roses now brings me suffocation. But of all the senses, hearing is the worst. Do you know, even through these walls, I heard your coming. I listened to your horse's hoofbeats, the jingle of its bit, the creak of the saddle. And I almost believe I heard you catch your breath when you first caught sight of my house.
Can that be possible? If it is, then I can understand why you feel so afflicted.
And why I could never live here.
No, not that. But if, as you say, it is a question of nerves, then you can be cured.
Yes. Yes. That's what I had hoped for when I wrote you. Strange. But your voice I find tolerable.
And music, too.
Not as you would think. Stringed instruments, yes. If lightly touched, barely coerced to sound.
Then we can read books and make some music. And pictures, too. You still paint.
Yes.
Well, that's enough. We'll pass the time merrily together, you and I. And who knows, in time...
Time? Time is what I fear most. I dread the events of the future, not in themselves, but in their results. I shudder at the thought of any, even the most trivial incident. Sooner or later, I must abandon life and reason. Together. I should be lost, overwhelmed by fear itself. Who is that? Who's there?
Excuse me, sir.
Why do you knock? I have told you never to knock.
I beg your pardon, sir. Lady Madeline wishes to see you. Good night, sir.
Madeline is...
Your sister, I know. I've seen her.
How?
As I came along the gallery. She looked out her door.
She seemed
Very beautiful, but strangely agitated, and yet at the same time like someone in a trance or sleepwalking. We were 3 feet apart, and yet I felt invisible to her eyes.
Then you were. A form of catalepsy. No doctors found the cause of it. At first it happened rarely, but now it becomes ever more frequent. Every day she grows weaker, wasting away. My beloved sister, my companion all these years, dying. Soon she'll be gone, and I shall be alone. The last of my family and my race. Are you surprised that terror holds me in a monstrous grip?
I was later to learn that hitherto she had steadily borne up against the pressure of her malady and had not betaken herself finally to bed. But on the closing in of the evening of my arrival at the house, she succumbed to the prostrating power of the destroyer. And I learned that the glimpse I had obtained of her person would thus probably be the last I should obtain, that the lady, at least while living, would be seen by me no more.
Madeline.
For several days ensuing, her name was unmentioned by either Usher or myself, and during this period I was busied in earnest endeavors to alleviate the melancholy of my friend. And thus, as a closer and still closer intimacy admitted me more unreservedly into the recesses of his spirit, the more bitterly did I perceive the futility of all attempt at cheering a mind from which darkness, as if an inherent positive quality, poured forth upon all objects of the moral and physical universe.
They say there is nothing smaller than the ultimate atom. I say they're wrong. There are worlds inside that tiny particle. Endless space, with the sun and planets revolving forever at enormous speed. Alive, vital, indestructible. I tell you, there is no such thing as death. I'm finished with music and with painting.
This is remarkable.
You saw it yesterday.
But it wasn't finished. When did you do it?
Last night. I couldn't sleep. When I slept, I dreamt of many things. Of guilt. And so I didn't sleep. At dawn I went to see my sister. She was quite cold. No breath in the mirror I held to her lips. No pulse. The doctor arrived. He pronounced her dead.
You expected it.
Yes. Now, you must help me, if you will.
What can I do?
No one else shall touch her, only you and I. There is a casket long prepared, a vault within the walls. We shall place her there and wait. Until I'm sure. I'll not have her buried. Not yet. They say she's dead. And indeed, she seems to be. But you know what I believe.
I'll do whatever you wish. The reason assigned for this singular proceeding was one which I did not feel at liberty to dispute, and no desire to oppose what I regarded at best but a harmless and by no means an unnatural precaution.
Here. Here she must lie. Then we must wait. Did you know that we were twins?
I did.
We loved each other and cherished each other more, I think, than any two people ever did. Finish it. In God's name, finish it.
For several days and nights, he took no rest. His ordinary occupations were forgotten or neglected. He hurried from room to room without purpose. All the servants had been sent away, and we lived alone in gloomy squalor. He seemed to be listening endlessly to some imaginary sound. No wonder that his condition first alarmed and then began to infect me. I felt creeping upon me the terrors caused by his inexplicable fantasies. Should you not go to bed? You've had no sleep now for...
No. Time enough later for sleep.
Very well. Good night. Someone there? Roderick? Is it you? Roderick? Come in.
Then you haven't seen it. No. But you shall. You shall.
You see? You see? Clouds everywhere! No moon or star to be seen! Where does that light come from?
You shall not, you must not behold this. These appearances that bewilder you are but electrical phenomena, not uncommon.
What is this thing?
The air is chilling. I have a book here for you, one of your favorites. I will read, and you shall listen, and we will pass away this terrible night together.
No. No. Listen. You hear that?
The tree smashing in the wind.
Downstairs. In the walls. I've heard it for many hours. Many days and nights. Yet I dare not speak. I tell you, she was alive when we locked her in the vault. She was alive. We have put her living in the tomb. From the very first, wherever I was, I could hear her feeble movements inside the hollow coffin. And now, tonight, you heard it. Even your dull ears could hear it. The beating on the lid. The rending and breaking of the coffin. The screech of the door hinges. Clang of the iron-bound door. Now she's here. footsteps are on the stair. I can feel the pounding of her heart. I tell you, she's there. There. Now, she stands outside the door.
From that chamber and from that mansion I fled aghast. The storm was still abroad in all its wrath as I found myself crossing the old My brain reeled as I saw the mighty walls rushing asunder. Sullenly and silently lay the fragments of the house of Usher.